Right. So I wanted to ask you, like as a kid, did you know that you wanted to be an entertainer?
No. Um, I was surrounded by it. My parents were in not only church and so on and so forth, but community theater. And so there was the front and center thing. As a boy soprano, I was in, singing boy soprano parts in operas and so on and so forth. And when I finally got the choice, seriously, when I finally got the choice, I wanted to be a bass player and stand in the back, right next to the drummer, and just lock in. That became my passion. Being out front was never, and being the entertainer was never the thing. And to be honest, I just honestly present the songs. I don't really entertain per se. You know what I mean? Like some people can dance or joke or front or,
Sure.
I'm a bass player that sings, and that's what I do. But so no, I've never had that to do. But as the original lead singer for the band quit, came back, quit again. The other guy that replaced him quit. Then another guy quit, and it was finally like, why am I going to keep going through the process of finding somebody else? So I moved to the front and into the middle. But it was never by choice, and it's been quite a learning curve to get comfortable being me doing it, as opposed to trying to be somebody else doing it, if you know what I mean.
Yes. Now, growing up, who did you listen to? Who were your musical idols that may have helped you shape your style?
Growing up, for sure, was Beatles, Cream, Chicago, and we're talking singing bass players all through there. It's, as I say that, I'm starting to get a thread of it, but other bands, Earth, Wind and Fire, all of Motown, R&B, that kind of stuff, those horn and rhythm sections that were doing adventurous stuff. I've never been a headbanger or a metal guy or anything. I was always into the intricacies of how bands put those layers together. But those Satira, McCartney, and Jack Bruce, big influences. Now that I stop and think about it.
Well, those are great influences.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, as a bass player or a musician in general, are you self-taught?
Yes. Totally. All of the ear training was because I stood next to my dad in the bass section of the choir from age 3. So I was being imprinted with the low end all through childhood and the music that we listened to and whatever. So that stuck for sure. I forget the question. What was the question?
As a bass player, were you self-taught?
Self-taught, yes.
Well, what drew you to the bass? I mean, there's so many instruments out there that you could have picked up.
I did. I started playing guitar because rubber sole acoustic guitar, just fingers bleeding, learning how to do it because I loved it, but I was never great at it. And when I finally became part of a band, there was a lead singer and there was a bass player. So I was playing tambourine and singing backup parts. And we'd go to rehearsal and I would tell the bass player, sorry, but those aren't the right notes. These are the right notes. And I would show him what the right notes were. And then finally the drummer came to me and he said, the true story, he said, if we were to get rid of the singer and get rid of the bass player, we could all make a lot more money.
Exactly.
so there we go. So made the move to sing and play bass, but never a question. That was what I heard. That's where I heard music from, was the ground up, and wanted to be a bass player as soon as I started playing.
I probably had a guitar for over 20 years because it looked cool sitting in the corner, and just picked it up maybe 10 years ago, and I'm starting to play. And when I was a kid, Father gave me a trombone and a trumpet. No interest whatsoever.
Right.
Had they given me that guitar, I'd probably be a member in your band, I think.
There you go. Yeah, and trombone and trumpet are, instruction-wise, I wanted, when there was going to be a band in my little grade school, I want to play trumpet. And they said, you've got this overbite in this thing. You're not going to be a trumpet player, but you'd be a great trombone player, because that's the embouchure that you need. So two very different instruments. I'm surprised that somebody didn't spot that. But I guess if you never followed it up, it was like, it's not going to work
It was
anyways.
pushed under the bed.
There you go.
Yeah, I was tripping on it all the time. Now, of course, as you're playing bass, you're singing backup and things like that. I mean, your voice is your instrument as well.
Mhm.
Do you do anything to maintain the health of your voice?
Oh, a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. It's more of what we don't do. Long ago, as you know, the voice passes 50 and whatever, there's maintenance that you can't ignore anymore. You can't party. You can't stay out late and party, or you will just burn out that part of your voice that I use a lot. And all of our music is voiced up there, and it's a level of expression that I certainly need to get songs across. And you can't do all of that stuff that you did when you were 25 and 30 years old now, because you just don't recover fast enough.
Yeah, I could imagine.
So I do a lot of, I stay away from a lot of things is what it amounts to. Talking in the morning, because I'm the tour manager, so that's hard.
I know,
but thank
yeah.
God for email and cell phones and whatever. I can get a lot of work done without saying anything. And just work your way through the day. And it's amazing, no matter how bad you feel at 10 in the morning, something happens at 7 o'clock that it's time to go to work and your voice kind of settles in. Most days, thank God. But the other thing is just hydrate the hell out of it. A few warm-ups, you know, before we play, and just don't go slamming into the first song thinking you're 19 years old. And
Sure.
So it's really just kind of being conscious of how to take care of it.
Now, you mentioned being a tour manager. How is it managing both of those jobs, being a bass player as well as touring, and then managing the whole tour?
It's a full plate. I mean, it's we do about somewhere between 90 and 100 shows a year.
Mm-hmm.
They all take some amount of communication and correspondence to trade information and get things right, get the details right. Some take more than others, and some are real easy. But so I'm either on my way to do a weekend, on my way back from a weekend, or working on the next weekend. So it's really become the full-time career.
Now, as part of your job, do you actually book with the venue and do the riders and all that stuff?
No, there's three layers. There's a booking agent that gets the show. Then they turn them over to me to start trading information about the show. And then the third layer is I've got a production manager that travels with us. He talks technical gear, because there are so many infinite variations on the gear and the configuration of it that I don't know and don't care to be that immersed in, and
Sure.
he is as immersed in that as I am in the music. So I get us there and get us a room and get us home, and
There
he
you go.
takes care of us once we get there. The show goes into his hands. That's basically the way it's
How long have
divided
you
up.
been tour manager?
2006.
Oh, wow.
We had an issue with the guy we had, and then it was like, again, we don't need our handheld.
Sure.
We don't need somebody guiding us to the door or whatever. We're better off being free-spirited about it and just knowing your grown-ups, be there,
Exactly.
be on the bus.
Of
Be on the
course.
bus at 1 o'clock. Be at the airport an hour and a half early. We've never missed a show since then, and everybody just kind of rolls with, boom. We know what we got to do, and we do it as a team, really. So I enjoy the thing that's the funniest is to talk to venues and talk and get it all squared away, and then walk in and go up to sound check and put the bass on and sing lead, and they're kind of, oh, I didn't know we were talking to the band. And I said, yeah, that's good. I didn't want you to know you were talking to the band. I want you to know that we're talking this, and you're not talking to somebody who's, trying to be a prima donna and getting things done our way.
Yes.
I want to do it the right way, and you don't need to know that I'm in the band until we get there. So
You're right.
it's good.
Well, one final question, because I know you're a busy guy. What's next for you and the Little River Band down the road?
We're in the middle of the band's 40th anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
That will carry through kind of past the end of the year. And once that kind of settles down, I am very sure that there will be another new CD of new music. We've been 2 years since the last one. Very gratifying process at this point in our career to find a collection of songs from us and from good songwriters that reflect our attitude at this age, as opposed to your attitude when you're
Of
30,
course.
30 or 35. It's a whole different deal, and the world has changed so much that it was just a pleasure to find those and put them together and make another CD that everybody that hears it, reviewers and whatever, it was a step forward, not a rehash.
Yeah.
We'll do that again. We'll need to do that again probably next year. Yeah.
Well, sounds great. So when that happens, we'll get all the information out to everyone.
On we go. Yep.
Wayne, it's awesome, man, to see you. I'm looking
Pleasure.
forward to a great show.
Thank you very much.
I was wondering if maybe you and the band would be willing to sign a guitar that we can donate to Disabled American Vets for the charity auction.
Absolutely. I'll take it back there right now. To the
Okay,
bus.
cool.
One guy just wandered that way, but we'll get most of them.
All right, and I think there's Sharpies in this year.
Okay.
Yep, they're in there. They're in that.
By the way,
Yeah.
A question that you didn't ask, and one of the things that's the best thing about getting to the 40th year
Mm-hmm.
and having a legacy that is recognizable, we're able to more and more give back, like to causes like this, Wounded Warriors. There's a new thing out called Mission America,
Yes.
which is a group of people that are starting to talk about what people do when they transition out of the military
Mhm.
and how they're thrown in the deep end that they didn't even realize was coming.
It's amazing how you say that, because you have all these movies about war and Vietnam and Desert Storm, whatever, but it never tells the story of what happens when they come home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will say this to anybody that I talk to, our country is despicably lacking in the way we treat those people, financially, respectfully, et cetera, et cetera. And so we're paired up with these people. It's a brand new organization, but we're very proud to be on the ground floor with them. But we do dog rescues.
Mhm.
We help raise money for people who are cancer survivors, a women's cancer survivor conference, people who have these massive daily serial headaches and they can't get, they don't know the cause yet. We've paired up with so many different people trying to raise awareness, and it's a deep, prideful thing that the band can do that. 10, 12 shows a year
Sure.
are dedicated to giving back to a community. This thing tonight, this is a
Yeah,
fundraiser.
this is actually, yes.
For our animal hospital, who's their home burned down, and it's like we'll be there. We'll
Very
come
good.
down.
You guys rock, man.
Thank you, man.
Awesome.
Thank you. Good to talk to you.
Thank you, Wayne.
Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
You guys are a great couple. Kathy B.
I don't know where